I feel like we have to talk about this guy as a potential 5 to 10 range guy. Maybe I've even seen guys have him in that next grouping in the 4 to 5 range. Jayden Quaintance. I feel like we have to talk about him. I personally, I don't know where I'm at with him personally, as far as having him in the lottery range. Here's what I do know, though. This kid defensively is a freak.
Yeah.
He is a freak of nature. And last year at Arizona State, I mean, he was really the only reason they were semi-watchable. I don't a little bit watchable. He's headed to Kentucky. I think that system is going to be an incredible fit for him because I do think that he has some playmaking flashes that Mark Pope is going to make better use of. But we saw him at the Nike Hoop Summit 2 years ago, 2024 Hoop Summit, I believe, with Cooper and Dylan Harper. Where are you at with him, Metcalf? Because I know you love yourself some defenders.
Yeah, it's really tough. And I remember watching him at that Hoop Summit, like you mentioned. It's like, God, this dude looks like an NFL defensive end. Like, this dude is gigantic, and he moves like a freak. And it's like, oh, he's 16. And it's like he's multiple years away, and he's the most physically imposing guy there. And it's like, oh my God, what are we doing here? And then you immediately see the defense translate. You immediately see the rebounding translate. And I mean, when we look at some of his defensive numbers, and he had a block rate of 9.8. For reference, Yannick Konen-Niederhauser, whose whole thing was shot blocking last year, had a block rate of 10.2. So he's right there as a reclassified freshman, as an underage guy. I love that about his game, but I think the offense is troubling. I think it's really concerning. I think there's a lot of work to be done on that end of the floor. And I'm just not totally sure what we're going to get out of him on that end. And if he can be more than just that bully ball enforcer.
53.6 true shooting as a center, maybe a power forward. Not great.
Great.
That would be like suboptimal for a point guard prospect. So I don't love that. His free throw shooting at 47.9 last year also is not doing him much favors.
Yeah.
Shot 18.8% on threes. Shot maybe a little too. He only shot one a game, but maybe that was a little too many threes still, even at that rate. But he's so young. Like you mentioned it like in passing, even though he's going to be coming out of his sophomore year of of college and having all of that experience, he is going to be on draft night 18.9 years old. He is still going to be younger than most of a lot of the freshman prospects. So there is so much room for growth with him. What does that growth look like to you, Rucker, from him to make it go from, okay, he's a freak defensively, like the way he moves out on the perimeter, the way he protects the rim, his strength, all of that rocks. He's set on that side. What is it on the offensive side of the ball that you're looking for with him that will make you go, okay, maybe it's not at the same level as his defense, but is there that Bam Adebayo is a name I'm sure you're going to hear? Is there an Onyeka Okongwu, who is a guy who maybe, if finally this year is the year that he gets more playing time with Atlanta? What are you looking for on the offensive side of the ball at Kentucky from him to see that leap?
I don't think much. I'm just looking for something. I don't think he's going to develop into this face-up guy this year because I just think that shot is a bit robotic. It's going to take a little bit of time, which is completely fine. We see bigs click at different points. Bam Adebayo wasn't a big face-up guy in college. Like we've seen this can develop. With JQ, it's just one of those things where I want to kind of see the role be simple on the offensive side of the ball, where it's like, okay, that's where we start. Now, like, what's the next part of his game? it's funny because I think he's listed at Kentucky's website at 6'10.5", which is the first team website I've seen put a decimal point for their measurements. But he's up to 255. So like I talked about this with Metcalf on the No Ceilings pod. I said, do we need to sort of just have him go all in on being a center? Like I'm a center. I'm going to have that size. I'm going to make up for it with my length. Because I think if he could be this lob threat offensively, that's just a disruptive force on the defensive side of the ball. And then you could slowly add something else with the game offensively. Maybe it's the playmaking, just something where it's like, okay, we can work with this. Then you could sell me really quick on like the upside, the youth. But I don't need much offensively because the defense has the potential to be so special. What do you guys think?
Well, Metcalf, I want to ask you, because he's going to be coming back from a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
He's not playing the full year, from what I understand, right? He's going to be coming in mid-season. Are we expecting to see growth with that, or is he going to be playing his way back into shape, like playing shape in a rhythm? Like, do you think the injury affords him any ability to show anything new?
I think it does. And we know how, when he's healthy, we know what the physical stuff looks like on both ends of the floor. It rocks. But I think having to shake off some of that rust and come into a new system with new teammates, new coaching staff, all that kind of stuff gives him a really good opportunity to show off more of the cerebral aspects of his offensive game. The names you mentioned, and comparing him to like a guy like Bam, what those guys and Okongwu, what those guys showed was also really high level processing stuff on the offensive end, not necessarily with their on-ball creation or initiating the offense, but facilitating and making quick reads and making sharp passes out of the short roll and in transition. And if he can showcase more of that and be a better decision maker by setting up teammates out of the short roll, or even the occasional grab and go in transition, then it's like, oh, okay. I'm almost at the point where it's like, I don't ever expect him to shoot. And I don't even think that he necessarily needs to, but there has to be something other than offensive rebounding. And if that can be really taking a jump in his offensive processing speed, and slowing the game down and making sharper reads and more creative reads out of areas like the short roll, then I'm like, oh, okay. Now we're seeing comps like Bam and Okong will make a lot more sense, or even a guy like Kevon Looney, who made an incredible career off of doing the little things and the dirty work. And then you factor in, like, if Quaintance can do what Kevon Looney did with his athleticism, that's a really, really fun player.
Yeah, I love that call out. And, I think solid baseline, for him, for a guy this kid's going to play in the league for a long time. And I think this year he's going to do a supercharged Amari Williams kind of impression.